Hello, ladies. I'm so sorry I am late, like an hour late. I had to make a run to my parents' house 2 hours from home to assist my dad on some important things. So I apologize for being late. You will not see my face tonight. Instead, I put a little thing on the TV with some background music. I apologize again if you see my dogs or cats or hear them. They're just here. If anybody is on, if you could do me a favor and comment so I can see if I'm able to see comments. All right, hold on one second. I'm trying to pull this up to make sure I can see. Computer's taking forever to load. Sorry guys, hang on one second. I'm trying to get this to load on my computer. All right, I'm seeing comments on my phone. It's not popping up on my computer, so I will bounce back and forth between the two. All right, I see Gina. All right. No worries, the replay will be here. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Faith. Samantha, Rachel, Sherry. Hello, ladies. Angel, Giselle. All right. So again, I apologize for being wicked late. I had some stuff to deal with. I apologize for having to reschedule yesterday. Again, had some family stuff to deal with. But I'm good now. So this live's going to be fairly quick-ish. It is just some basic information about Crossroads magic. I don't have a whole lot of information on it. I don't even have very many books on Crossroads magic, but I do work with Crossroads magic. Obviously, you all know my patron deity is Hecate, so I go to the Crossroads quite often when I'm working with her. So let's go ahead and get started on some basic information. We're going to talk about how to do Crossroads work for love, money, protection, and power in the Hoodoo tradition. So some Crossroads basics, kind of like what are the crossroads and how to use them. So a crossroads is any place where two visible roads meet. The older and busier a crossroads is, the better its magic is. Crossroads are sacred to many traditions that contributed to Hoodoo. So what do crossroads do? A crossroads is a pool of magical energy and a meeting place for spirits. It is also a point where spirit and humanity can connect easily. For this reason, all spirits, including the spirits of spell work, are more powerful and able to create change magically when connected to a crossroads. So how are crossroads used? In general, crossroads are used for offerings, sealing spell work by burying it there, You can also gather dirt from Crossroads in addition to stones and coins that may possibly be found near the Crossroads. All of these practices can increase the power and effectiveness of spiritual practice and spell work. I collect Crossroads dirt, and I usually try to find some stones that might catch my eye or feel right in my hand. Can't say that I have personally ever found coins, but usually anything that you can find in the general vicinity of the Crossroads that you are going to is great to use in your magic. So some different types of Crossroads and their powers. The first is the female Crossroads, which is the strongest Crossroads. These may be used for all sorts of work. Its dirt is best for love, healing, and fertility, as well as lust to attract women. This is the place to bury work related to romance, and this is also the best place for female practitioners to work. A female Crossroads is a four-way Crossroads. Has to be a four-way Crossroads to be considered a female Crossroads. Hi, Jenny. All right, next is the male Crossroads. This Crossroads is for all work and work of legal matters. Its dirt is best for steady work, justice, and victory in court spells. Bury lust work to attract male lovers and work to break other love spells here. This is a powerful place for men, the best place to meet the Crossroads man. A male Crossroads is your T-shaped Crossroads. So when you come up to a stop sign and the road only goes left and right, it doesn't go straight, that would be considered your T Crossroads or your male Crossroads. Yeah, Elizabeth, I'm not, I just put some background music on with the photo because I am a hot mess after having to deal with some family stuff. So I'm not showing my face on TV or on camera today. So I apologize for that. Yeah, I agree, Sherry. It definitely makes sense for the four-way being the female. Hi, Haley. Yeah, I prefer not to expose my hideousness to anybody after the day that I have had. All good. I'm glad you asked. You may not have caught that at the very beginning. All right, so moving on, the next type of Crossroads is the divine Crossroads. You use these Crossroads for any type of blessing, cleansing, or protection work. The dirt here is best used for shielding spells, uncrossing, and forgiveness spells. You can bury or pour your offerings to good spirits here. You can seek the ancestors and guides also in this place. This is a powerful place for divination work, cleansing, and all holy or healing works. So the divine Crossroads would be your roundabouts. I know around here they have popped up everywhere. We have a section of the road between my home and my mother-in-law's where there is 6 roundabouts almost back to back within, I would say, a 3 to 4 mile span, if that. So all of those roundabouts, and I know some towns, depending on where it is, some towns like to put beautiful waterfalls in the middle of these roundabouts or plant some beautiful gardens in the middle of these roundabouts as well. Me personally, I think somebody should take a whole bunch of sunflower seeds and just put them all around the edge of the roundabout and leave that as like our secret little witchy spot where we can park our car in a parking lot somewhere in the middle of the night with these sunflowers surrounding the whole edge of the roundabout. go sit in the middle of the divine crossroads and do some magic. Next is the damned crossroads. This crossroads is best for cursing, breakups, and banishing. Its dirt is best for domination and dark works. And this is where you would bury curses. You also want to beware of meeting the crossroads man here, as he may be a demon in disguise. The damned crossroads, I forgot this one. Is the Y crossroad. So when you're coming up to like a split in the road, you're going straight and then all of a sudden the road goes left or the road goes right and it's continuous in the shape of a Y, that would be considered your damned crossroads. Hi, Jody. Yeah, roundabouts are literally popping up everywhere. Hi, Sarah Lee. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. Not today. I'm definitely not. I am a mess today. Yeah, when you think about it, it actually honestly does all make sense when you put a little bit of an explanation to it. Some things you wouldn't have even thought about, honestly, when you're thinking about crossroads magic. All right, moving on, we're going to talk about some things to leave at the crossroads for power or ritual. So you can leave offerings. Spiritual offerings along with prayers can be left at the crossroads to show thanks or to strengthen your relationship with spirits. Excuse me. Be sure to leave appropriate offerings for the particular spirits you are working with and for the specific prayer or spell work that you are doing. Next would be active spells. The crossroads is a perfect place to anchor spells related to the power of that particular crossroads, which is what I discussed a minute ago. Burying a spell that is designed to work long term here will allow the work to stay strong and continue to make progress without being actively worked at home. So a lot of times people will say, if you make a particular spell jar or do a particular spell, to leave it on your altar. Myself, when I make my sour jars, I will leave them sit on my altar and then I give them a shake on a daily basis, you know, to keep that that spell active. And then when it has served its purpose, or you want to release it, obviously if you want to release the spell, you would open the jar and release what is inside of it. You can repurpose the jar, or you can, a lot of times I like to take the jar, I will wrap it in white cloth, dig the hole, and then as I am laying the jar inside of the hole, I will break the jar and then I will bury it. That is me releasing the spell, and also just that it served its purpose. Whereas if you do this magic at the crossroads, the crossroads will allow that spell to work long term and it'll stay strong and continue to make process without you having to actively shake your spell jar or move your spell jar around, whatever the spell may call for. Next would be spell remains. Most spell work remains can be buried, burned, or left at the crossroads. This brings their energy to full completion. It lets any leftover prayer or intent in the plants, petitions, or other remains of the work to be fully and safely released. So releasing a spell at the crossroads is a great thing to do. Some things to take from the crossroads for spells or charms. I also mentioned this when I first started going over. the dirt, stones, and the coins. Hi, Ronnie. All right, so the significance of graveyard dirt. And this will be the end of my live here after I finish these up. For Crossroads dirt. Crossroads dirt brings the power of manifestation from the crossroads. Dirt from male crossroads, as I mentioned before, the T crossroads, is excellent to manifest customers to a business. So like Sarah Lee runs her own business. Her getting dirt from a male crossroads, the T-shaped crossroads, and bringing it to her business would help to manifest customers. Crystal as well. She's got her tea business. And anybody else who owns a small business. Dirt from a divine crossroads, which again is the roundabouts, mixed into a garden or field attracts good spirits and increases harvest. Now stones that you gather from the crossroads carry the power of the crossroads itself with them. Stones from a female crossroads, which again is the four-way crossroads, can be carried by pregnant women to protect the baby. Stones from a damned crossroads, the Y crossroads, may be left in a house, yard, or field to curse it or make it barren. Is there an alternative to what, Giselle? Releasing a spell or getting rid of spell remains? You can honestly just leave it in the jar itself and bury it. It doesn't have to be broken. And then the last thing, coins. Coins found at the crossroads are especially powerful. Silver coins found at the crossroads protect from haunting nightmares and evil spirits, whereas copper coins protect the one who carries them from love spells and bindings. You may leave coins on purpose to pick up later, but found coins is obviously always the best ones to use. Yes, burning the remains, burying the remains. There's a lot of different ways to get rid of spell remains. Yeah, the older roundabouts, most definitely. I believe that, Giselle. In that case, I would probably I would burn your remains if there are issues with being able to bury anything. You could also bury them in house plants, though. If you've got a decent sized pot inside of your house that has a house plant in it, you can also bury inside a house plant. You can also just leave, as I mentioned earlier, you can leave your spell remains at the crossroads itself without doing anything to it. You can bury crystals inside of your potted plants as well, Giselle. If you look into the properties of crystals and how they can assist your plants, like say you have a crystal that has broken, which means that it's served its purpose, and you want to find another purpose for it, you can bury them inside of your potted plants so they can serve a different purpose to them. So that's the information I have in regards to Crossroads magic. Now, I have never heard of the Crossroads man, so I am going to look it up and see what exactly the Crossroads man is. And see what we can find out about this. It is believed that one may attend upon a crossroads a certain number of times, either at midnight or just before dawn, and one will meet a black man whom some call the devil, who will bestow upon one the desired skills. That's what Wikipedia says. Is anybody else familiar with the Crossroads man? Because that's pretty intriguing to me. Let's see. I'm trying to find some more information on what the Crossroads man is. Okay, so a little bit of folklore on Crossroads with Britain and Ireland. In Ireland, Scotland, and parts of England, the crossroads were places between our world and the Seelie world. It was at these crossroads that the fairy dog, an extremely large black dog, roamed. The dog is considered to be either a good omen or a bad omen, depending on which part of Britain you are in. They claim that if the dog barks 3 times in warning, on the 3rd bark, whoever has heard it is in for some bad luck and sometimes even death. In England, until the 1820s, crossroads were used as sites for profane burials, the internment of criminals, suicides, and others considered not worthy of a proper burial in a churchyard. The reason was twofold. Criminals and suicides especially were sinners, and thus burial in the hallowed ground of the churchyard or cemetery was forbidden, but it was also a way of further punishment. Burial at crossroads condemned their spirits to wander the roads for eternity, never finding peace or rest. Witches and those accused of witchcraft were buried at the crossroads too. There is a crossroads in Gloucestershire, England, known as Bethy Grave Crossroads, the supposed burial site of Elizabeth Baxter, buried in 1786. Depending on the story and who is telling it, Elizabeth is either described as a malicious witch or perhaps more accurately a victim of religion and class. In Welsh folklore, a banshee-like ghostly spirit who stalks the crossroads, sometimes a hideous woman, sometimes invisible. Her wailing cry is a death omen to any unfortunate soul who should hear it. Beautifulresistance.org has some interesting folklore on the crossroads. So if you want to check that out, go to abeautifulresistance.org. It's under the article In Bulk Musings, Folklore of the Crossroads, written by Emma Catherine. That was actually really interesting. So that's new. I've never heard that. I live at a crossroads as well. I actually live at Female Crossroads. I'm definitely going to have to do some more research into the Crossroads, man. I am very intrigued now. I'd never heard of him until I started doing some more research for this live. So it piques my interest. I am definitely intrigued. Thank you for that information, Sarah Lee. All right, my loves, that is all I have for you guys in the way of Crossroads magic. I did look. There are a bunch of books on Amazon about Crossroads magic. So maybe if you are interested in diving deeper than what the information that I just gave you, I would definitely possibly purchase some of those books. Is now that I know even more about it. Like I said, I only ever used it when especially on Hecate's night, I will go to the Crossroads literally right outside of my house here. Eventually one of these days I want to go out into the middle of nowhere, like out where my parents live in BFE, and do some magic at one of the old crossroads, one of the original roads where I grew up at, and see what I can come up with there. I think it's really actually more common when you think about it, how many people actually do live at a crossroads. I was not familiar with any of the terms as far as male, female, divine, and damned crossroads. Now, every time I go to a roundabout or see one of these different types of crossroads, it's going to be in the back of my mind that that's a female crossroads, that's a male, that's a divine, that's a damned. And if I ever have a chance to, I will absolutely stop and gather some stones and some dirt from each of these types of crossroads, because you never know when you're going to need any of this type of stuff in a spell work. Especially the male crossroads being used in justice. That would work great, I think, on Hecate's altar and spell work with her, because she's all about justice for women as well. So, yes, I appreciate you all bearing with me. I would gather as much as you can from whatever crossroads you can, Sherry. And maybe eventually somebody will send you some divine crossroads dirt from one of the roundabouts in our neck of the woods. All right, so if nobody has any other questions, I'm going to hop off of here, get my hot mess self in the shower, and ready for work and school tomorrow. I promise my next live, I will grace you all with my presence. You can see my face. The last couple of lives, I have not been on camera. So I hope all of you take this information and use it to your advantage. Gather some of that crossroads dirt. Gather some stones. If you know anybody who is pregnant, get some of those stones from the Crossroads and give, it doesn't have to be any fancy stones or crystals or anything like that, just regular stones from the Crossroads, and they help to protect a pregnancy. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, ladies. All right, I'm going to hop off here. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your evening. The weekend is coming very, very soon. Technically, tomorrow's the start of it. Yay. I got the weekend off, so I'm excited about that. And I will talk to you all soon. Blessed be, ladies.